Hi, I'm Max, the head coach of the kids jiu-jitsu program. So I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 8 years now. Originally started off training with Jeff Higgs. Also, I am from Maui, so when I would go back to Maui, I trained with Luis Heredia, Limao, they call him. And those are my two main coaches. So originally I started teaching kids at Coronado Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That was my first experience of teaching kids. I started teaching literally as soon as I got my blue belt for Jiu-Jitsu, period. And then I eventually went on to teaching kids, and now I teach both here and there.
And was teaching something, was that like something you pursued, or was that something that like your coach, your professor was like, hey, can you fill in for me?
Yeah, so how I got into teaching kids jiu-jitsu was one of my training partners. They ended up opening up Coronado Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and eventually they needed somebody to help out with the kids class, and I came along, and then I basically helped out with the kids class, and then it was to the point where they were able to let me teach. So yeah, it was a great thing while it lasted, you know, and it's great working with the kids, you know. Kids are amazing, they pick up everything, they're unbelievable sponges on the mat, you know. So my focus in the kids jiu-jitsu program is, number one would be for the kids to have fun, right? There's no sense in them coming here if they're not having fun. Two is to make sure they can defend themselves. That's very important for me in my personal life, and then also in the whole world of jiu-jitsu. There's this point where we're getting a little too far away from self-defense and not knowing how we can defend ourselves. So that's probably number two. And three is to build these kids who can actually enjoy jiu-jitsu for the rest of their lives. I think a lot of people get too aggressive with their children and competition and all this stuff, because eventually what they don't realize is that might restrict them from doing it the rest of their lives. You know, it is a life practice. There's a lot we learn about life on the mat, and the same vice versa back and forth. So it's very important to be able to keep training and stay on the mat as well. Jiu-jitsu in my life, what I want to accomplish would be, the biggest goal is to be training on the mat at 100 very comfortably and very healthy, you know. Health has come into my life because of jiu-jitsu. There was a point in my life where it wasn't that important, and eventually I started training very hard and started to realize that, you know, it's important to live a healthy lifestyle. So part of training jiu-jitsu is being healthy, and that's my goal, is to live till 100 and be training on the mat till 100 with no problem, you know. So my training and training regimen, which I imply within my teaching as well, has to do a lot with this longevity, rather than it being such a brutal thing, and then next thing you know, you're injured and you can't even step on the mat. How I feel about kids competing is, the kids, it's great because they're learning all of these moves, they're learning all this technique and all this knowledge, but they don't really get to challenge themselves, you know. I mean, other than with their training partners on the mat. So the competition for me that's what it mostly is for the kids, is for them to challenge themselves, to be able to realize that this stuff does work on somebody who has no clue who you're doing the move to, you know. And yeah, the biggest thing is to learn from that, you know. With the long comes challenge, comes learning experiences, you know. So when you get down on a tournament, it's big learning experience. And for the kids to realize that, you know, either win or defeat, you know, you gotta be able to come back and be on the mat and be able to continue with your life on jiu-jitsu, continue with your life out in the real world as well. So my style of jiu-jitsu has to do a lot with my practices. So along with my jiu-jitsu practice recently, or for quite a few while now, I've been doing a lot of yoga. So yoga is great, you know, for that specific reason of, you know, being limber, being flexible. Jiu-jitsu, actually, the translation of jiu-jitsu is the gentle art, you know, so to be able to be flexible and be pliable like that is very important to be on the mat. So when it comes to my style, I bring in and I mold all these arts together, you know. A lot of people train with me and they're like, what was that, you know, like what are you doing, what kind of guard was that? And there's no explanation for it, you know. It's a lot of feel, it's a lot of, you know, just letting my body do what it's going to be doing, you know. So my style, I guess a lot of people say it's unpredictable. I mean, it's hard to explain my own style to somebody, you know. It's more of like kind of just, it's more feel than anything else, you know. And it's not a reactive type of jiu-jitsu. There's a lot of people who are reactive type of jiu-jitsu where they're really driving that reaction, you know. And I think that's important for us. Like I said, when, you know, we translate things on the mat to life, it's like very important for us in life to not be reactive, you know. So I think that's the best way I could really explain, if that really does explain my style at all, you know. So basically what I would tell a parent, as far as a parent coming in for the first time has no clue what jiu-jitsu means or what it is or anything, you know, is the biggest thing is to give it some time. Like, some kids like it, some kids don't. But the biggest thing is that there are going to be these life experiences for this kid to learn, you know, and they're going to be so much of a better child and human being in the future if they are consistently being on the mat. Consistency is one thing. Another thing is give it some time, right? You wanna let the person be able to grow. Either way, if it's a kid or an adult, you know, it takes time. You want to be able to grow. It takes time to do that. And you know, for the kid to just have fun, you know, like if the kid's not having fun, I don't know. They will have their bad days and you know, good days, bad days, but at the same time, when it all kind of settles down and when the whole situation is all settled, is the kid having fun, you know? Do they like to do it? And I think that's very important.